Hello guys, this is Kaushal and today I'm going to do a small review about the film Antichrist. And this is a little bit of a psychological analysis rather than a normal film review. So hope you guys enjoy. Lars von Trier's Antichrist 2009 is a harrowing psychological horror film that pushes the boundaries of cinematic storytelling. A visceral exploration of grief, guilt, and human frailty, it delves deeply into the psyche of its two central characters, known only as he, Willem Dafoe, and she, Charlotte Gainsbourg. With its unsettling imagery and unrelenting emotional intensity, the film is as much as a meditation on psychological torment as it is a visual and narrative masterpiece. The woman, psychology of she. She is a character consumed by overwhelming grief and guilt after the tragic death of her child. Her descent into despair is both raw and terrifying. Initially portrayed as emotionally fragile, she oscillates between vulnerability and violent rage, reflecting a psyche unrevealing under the weight of trauma. Her actions throughout the film are driven by her feelings of culpability, exacerbated by his insistence of rationalizing her pain. Her connection to the nature, particularly the ominous Eden-like forest where much of the film takes place, become a metaphor for her psychological state. As the film progresses, she embraces the chaotic, destructive elements of the nature, symbolizing a return to the primal instincts and an abandonment of social norms. Her violent outbursts and self-harming behavior highlight the profound effect of untreated trauma and emotional isolation. The man, psychology of he. He is a therapist who believes in logic and reason as a tool to overcome emotional suffering. His decision to take on she as his patient reflects his hubris and detachment. While he appears calm and composed, his insistence on analyzing she's grief rather than emphasizing with it exposes a deeply flawed understanding of human emotion. His psychological unraveling is slower than she's but no less significant. As he ventures deeper into the forest, he begins to confront his own fears and vulnerabilities. The forest, a space teeming with dread and surreal symbolism, acts as a mirror for his subconscious. His attempts to control and cure she ultimately fails, revealing his inadequacy in facing his own suppressed emotions. The dynamic between he and she. The interplay between he and she is a psychological battleground. Their relationship is a study in power dynamics, with he initially assume a dominant, almost paternalistic role. However, as she's mental state deteriorates, the balance of power shifts dramatically. This shift culminates in act of violence that challenges traditional gender roles and notions of control. Their interactions are fraught with tension, both emotional and physical, making their relationship a disturbing reflection of how grief can distort intimacy and trust. The psychology of the film. Antichrist is, at its core, a psychological exploration of humanity's darkest fears and desires. The film's use of stark imagery, such as unsettling opening sequence of the child's death and the grotesque violence in the third act, force viewers to confront the fragility of the human mind. The film's symbolism is rich and open to interpretation. The recurring motif of nature, death, and sexual violence evoke themes of original sin and inherent chaos of existence. The forest itself becomes a character, representing the unconscious mind where suppressed fears and desires reside. Von Trier's exploration of grief and guilt is unflinchingly honest, portraying the ways these emotions can lead to self-destruction. The film's psychological depth lies in its refusal to offer easy answers or catharsis. Instead, it forces viewers to grapple with uncomfortable truth about human nature. The director's mind. Lars von Trier's own psychological struggle provide critical context for Antichrist. The director has openly discussed his battles with depression and anxiety, which inform the creation of the film. Written during a period of profound personal despair, Antichrist serves as a cathartic expression of von Trier's inner turmoil. Von Trier's fascination with the darkest aspect of human psychology is evident throughout his filmography, but Antichrist stands out as one of his most personal and introspective works. His depiction of Shee's descent into madness and his futile attempts at control reflects his own experience with mental illnesses. The film's raw emotional intensity can be seen as a projection of Von Trier's psychological state, blurring the line between art and autobiography. Conclusion: Antichrist is a deeply unsettling yet profoundly thought provoking film that challenges conventional notions of grief, gender, and human psychology. Through the lens of he and she, Von Trier explores the destructive potential of untreated trauma and the complexities of the human mind. The film's psychological depth, combined with its striking visual style, make it a landmark in the contemporary cinema. While its graphic content and unrelenting intensity may not be for everyone, Antichrist is an essential viewing experience for those interested in the intersection of psychology, art, and human emotion. It is not just a film but a descent into the psyche of its characters, its director, and ultimately its audience.